Today we're going to take a look at the Provider 235 75R17.5 Radial tire in a load range J on this 17.5-inch silver dual steel wheel with the 8 on 275mm bolt pattern. Now this tire and wheel assembly is designed for use on dually trucks, buses, and trailers. This dual wheel uses a wheel offset that allows the assembly to be used as either the inner or the outer wheel of a dual wheel setup. The wheel, it's a heavy-duty steel wheel. It is a four-handhold design wheel. It's very sturdy and corrosion resistant. Now this wheel does go through a 3-step finishing process, which will first include a zinc-phosphate bath, then an E-coat primer, and then they do a silver powder coat on both sides of the wheel. And on this dual wheel, if you'll notice the center disc, it is spun form from a fine-grained steel, and then it's fully welded into place for strength and durability. This is a hub-piloted wheel, so it does require the use of flange nuts for installation. We do sell those separately on our website. Now the tire that's mounted on this, it's constructed with a double steel belts, double polyester cords for a nice long life. It's great for highway use. They do also use a nylon tread firming belt overlay to help prevent tread separation. This does offer the tread depth bars like you see on your passenger cars. Gives you a quick visual indication of the tread wear. Now on a tire this large, it is stamped, it is regroovable for additional mileage, but you do want to check with your federal and state laws in your area because they may apply as far as regrooving the tire. This tire is bake tested to ensure that the rubber holds up over time, and this whole assembly does meet the DOT Department of Transportation specifications and exceeds your federal motor vehicle safety standards. Now a few measurements on this. The diameter on the wheel, which is always measured inside to inside, is 17.5 inches. The width on just the wheel is 6 3/4 inches wide. The bolt pattern we mentioned is an 8 on 275mm. There's your 8 lugs. And the distance, if you measured that bolt pattern from the center of this hole directly across to the center of right across from it, would be 275mm. We had mentioned they use a flange nut because it's a hub-piloted wheel. It uses the lug nut size of 5/8 by 18 size flange nut. Now the weight capacity on just the wheel is 5,675 pounds. Pilot hole diameter, which is the large hole here in the center, this is 8.7 inches. And we mentioned it has dual offset design depending if you use it for an inner or outer wheel. So the offset would either be a positive 5.59 inches or a negative 5.59 inches. And the tire size, which is stamped right here on the tire, 235 75R17.5. The R stands for Radial design tire. Section width on this is going to be right at 9.2 inches. Overall diameter from the bottom to the top when it's fully inflated is 31.4 inches. And this tire is a load range J, which means it's an 18-ply rated tire. So in a dual load or in a dual tire setup, the maximum load on this is 5,675 pounds at 127 psi. And the last thing I do want to mention is most all the new tires are coming through with a speed rating. And the speed rating on this would be, if you look right after the size we just went over, you'll see 2 numbers, which is the load index, and then the letter M. The letter M will mean 127, or I'm sorry, the letter M will mean 81 miles per hour speed rating. But that should do it for the review on the Provider 235 75R17.5 Radial tire in a load range J on this 17.5-inch silver dual steel wheel with the 8 on 275mm bolt pattern.